My God, man. Is this all the Saabs? Because that's obviously a fire hazard. It can actually be a fire hazard.
This car loves a fire hazard.
Hi guys, and welcome back to Car Throttle, and more importantly, welcome back to my Saab 9.3. You might recognise this from our ultimate £500 daily challenge, doing mad backward entries and also winning that challenge video overall. We did that about 2 years ago, and since then I've been daily in this car. Now the name of the game was to just drive it until it breaks, but somehow it's survived, and it's not like I haven't been trying. I'm sort of a master of neglect, and it's still here. But it's starting to get some issues. It's starting to show its age. So we thought we'd bring it to a local Saab specialist, Hagstrom Saab, and see what's wrong with it. And as you can see, I think we're in the right place. Ash, who we're meeting today from Hagstrom Saab, has been working on Saabs since he was age 3 and has dedicated his time to saving as many Saabs as he physically can. Ash, cheers for having us.
Yeah, no problem at all.
Start with saying sorry for bringing you this heat. From initial impressions, what do you reckon?
Well, initial impression is it needs a wash, but from what I've seen so far, from the outside anyway, it looks good enough.
How much do you think we paid for this? This was 2 years ago.
I reckon probably about 750.
Oh, you're 250 off. Yeah, £500.
No, I think that's a really good deal, especially, you know, given the fact they've gone up a lot in the last 2 years as well.
So if we just have a quick walk around, you
Yeah.
can tell me what you think of it.
So things that I'm seeing straight away, we've got the headlights fading. It's just due to the age of the plastic. Normally they can be cleaned up, but if you need to replace them, they're very affordable. You've also got a nice eBay special bonnet badge there. They look cool for about 3 months, but they fade afterwards.
Okay, yeah,
And,
that one's looking a bit tatty, isn't
Yeah,
it?
that's a bit tatty.
Yeah,
That needs to go really. A homemade Vector badge here as well.
Is that homemade?
Yep.
That's actually etched itself into the paint. Probably permanent by now. It's like a tattoo for the car.
A little bit of corrosion there.
A little bit of corrosion.
That just adds character to it.
Well, there's lots of character on this car. You're going to see, yeah.
We've also got the eBay special hubcaps, which again fade and peel off after about 3 months.
Seeing a pattern emerge here of the eBay special.
So the tint on this will be factory.
So that's factory?
Yeah,
That
factory
seems
tint.
quite dark for factory, right?
They are very dark. The beauty of that is it's legal because it's done on the factory.
Yeah, nice.
So you haven't got to worry about that.
If we come back here, this is where you start to see more of that character.
Some rust there, lovely. With some damage on the trims down the side, I can see too.
You got a keen eye. I missed all this stuff, but then I don't know what to compare it to.
I have to have a keen eye because we, we're so picky with the Saabs that we sell. They have to be perfect. Everything has to be looked at, so we have to have a trained eye for them.
Yeah, I don't sell many Saabs.
Well, someone's got to. So yeah, we've got the rust on the wheel arches, common for this model, but it's easily repairable. We keep new panels in stock that we just weld in around it. You cut the old one out, weld a new bit in, job done. We've got the Hirsch badge here. That's an interesting one. So Hirsch are basically Saab's tuning company. They did a lot of the mapping and things from the factory. So that, I guess, means you might have had it mapped already at some point.
Oh, really?
Possibly, but we can check that. We've got the eBay special badge again. Oh yeah.
Yeah, no exhaust. I do have it though, I've got it with me.
Got it in the boot, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, that thing tried to stay in Harlow, Essex. Can you believe it? Yeah, it did.
It didn't want to come to Norfolk, I can't blame it.
That thing's seen better days.
Yeah, that has, yeah.
Oh yeah, ignore the bottle of oil. Sort of top it up every now and then when it starts moaning at me.
I mean, they prefer 530, but I guess you could use 540. That'd do.
Oil is better than no oil.
Oil's definitely better than no oil.
Similar story around this side, but it's not as bad.
Not as bad, no.
Bird shit.
Yep.
Yep.
Adds 5 horsepower.
Adds 2 bird power. Another homemade Vector sticker?
Yep, another homemade Vector sticker. I kind of like it, actually.
I never really questioned it, so I assumed it was meant to be there, but
No, someone's added them.
And Vector was a trim level?
Yeah, so Vector's is like a mid-range trim level. You get Linear, which is the most basic one, like the Povo spec one. Then you get Vector, which is the mid-range one. Then you get Aero, which is the higher spec one. Sometimes you do get other models such as Griffin and Turbo X, but you know, Linear, Vector and Aero are the basics.
Okay, basics, okay. Okay, fine. Okay, so that's the outside. Pretty impressive, I'm sure you'll agree. Should we have a look under the bonnet?
See where the magic happens there?
Yeah.
Okay, so there we have an engine.
That's a good sign, right?
That's always good to see. See the cam belt's been done here. That's not due just yet, so you haven't got to worry about that. Nice. So that's barely on, but that's okay. So it's looking a bit crusty under here, but that's nothing really to worry about. It's always something you have to expect with a higher mileage engine.
It's a bit weepy round here, I've noticed.
All this here, I'd probably say that's where you've been putting all your 540 in it. Probably where you've been spilling it.
Okay. Oh, I see. Oh, okay, yeah.
Looking over the engine, it looks okay. I can't see any of the common issues that we see on these engines.
Oh, that's good.
Your breather system's leaking a bit at the back.
Okay, that's bad. What are sort of the other common issues that you see with these?
So the biggest issue, most common issue we see with these, on your inlet manifold here, they have these things called swell flaps, and they break and they leak boost. And there's a bit of a pain in the arse to sort out, but you're all good on that front. Also, they can leak at the front here from this coolant hose. They can corrode through, but this one's been fitted with the upgraded one, so you won't be having any rust issues there for a while.
Someone cared, not me, but someone cared at one point.
Someone cared a lot to have a Hirsch badge on the back of it. Also to give it the old eBay special bonnet badge.
Yeah. Someone
So
really
they cared. They cared a bit.
Can you tune these engines? Can you get much more out of them than's already there?
Yeah, certainly. So Stage 1 map takes these from 150 to about 205 bhp. We can get them to about 250, but for the 250 you've got to change fuel pumps, intercoolers, pipe work, exhaust, things like that, but it's doable. Yeah, no problem.
Maybe we can discuss, a little
I
little
think we'll have a better look through it and see what we can find.
We won't do it right now. That bottle design always intrigued me. That looks like that belongs under my kitchen sink. That's standard.
Right, so yeah, that is standard. Basically, that's the power steering pump. It does actually make sense if you think about it, because underneath you've got the pump, and they just sit that bottle straight on top of it. So the reservoir for the power steering fluid is on top of the pump.
I have not checked the level of the power steering.
Never?
No.
We should probably have a look at that.
Yeah, should we have a look at it? Because the steering's kind of funky in this car. Is there something
well, no, you've got no oil in there.
Ah, okay.
And you can't put your 540 in it, sorry.
Oh, you got to put 530 in there, haven't you? Yeah, that's
530.
right. Yeah,
he's learning.
Yeah.
Educating.
So there's no power steering fluid in there?
No, that means it's obviously gone somewhere.
Well, maybe it's underneath somewhere and we can have a look for that.
I mean, it's probably down the A11 on the way up here.
Yeah,
but we'll get it up in the air and see where it leaked out. When they leak out like that, well, there was none of the bottle, there's plenty in the reservoir still inside, which is why it's still working, but not for much longer. Okay. So we should probably get that looked at.
Shall we take a look inside?
Yeah, let's do it.
Interior, first impressions?
It's not doing bad for a car with 189 on the clock. First things I see straight away is this wrapped carbon fibre gear sticks around.
I didn't do that. I promise.
Sure?
Yeah, I'm sure I didn't do that. Unfortunately not. I'd like to claim it. It's a good mod.
It's a good touch.
It's a good look, isn't it?
I mean, if it was actually on the car properly. We've got the usual button wear up here as well. Very common. People, instead of pushing the button with a finger, they push it with a fingernail, which does this. Hands-free kit here as well, which is probably long dead.
Do you know what that actually works?
Really? See, I fixed it now, look.
Yeah, done.
There we go, fixed.
You
cool.
can send me an invoice later.
The heater vents, these normally break. Oh, there we go.
Speaking of heaters and vents and whatnot, the blower motor in this doesn't seem to work. I get nothing. And also when I turn the car on, it automatically goes to full blower. And if I forget to turn it off, I get this really sort of nice electrical fire sort of smell coming through.
Lovely. So when you turn the car on, if the fan tries to power up fully on here, that's normal. That's just how the car's set up.
Yeah.
But if you're getting electrical burning smell from it, that's not good at all.
No.
It can actually be a fire hazard. Occasionally we see it where all the dashboard, windscreen, everything's melted out. So you shouldn't use it really if you're getting that. And if you do want to keep using it, you've got to pull the fuse, because that is what we call a fire hazard.
Okay, I just thought that was like a mild inconvenience. What is quite impressive though is that this car has never been cleaned inside.
Well, not in the 2 years you've owned it?
Well, no, not in the 2 years I've owned it, no. Why would I do that? The seats though, I think they've held up quite good and they're comfortable as well.
Yeah, they are brilliant seats. So this side, bolster's a bit worn. So someone's eaten it.
Someone's been nibbling.
Someone's been nibbling, but again, easy to sort out.
Key in the centre. Can you explain that, why Saab did that?
Saab have always been very safety orientated. At the time, a lot of accidents were involving people's knees hitting the keys. So Saab found if they put the key in the middle, you was less likely to come into contact with you during an accident. It also made it hard to hotwire it.
Oh, they were good, weren't they, Saab?
They were good.
They were this good as well, like these cup holders.
Yeah, the cup holder's there. It's the flagship piece, really.
That is worth £500, I think.
It is. When we're selling them, a lot of the time people don't care for the car. All they want is the cup holder.
I could do that all day. I don't think it would wear out either. By far my favourite feature, the night panel.
When you're driving at night, if the dash lights are too much, you push your night panel button, it turns off everything except for the speedo, or the rev counter goes off too, but if you floor on it, that will come back to life. But it's a bit of an inside joke, I think, Saab had.
I was taking it very seriously. I was going fighter jet mode, like on the M25. Like, pow, no one sees me. The speed cameras, I'm just like, what? So yeah, I think that's pretty much it inside. Should we get it in the air and take a look underneath?
Let's do it.
Dare I say
Let's see what horrors await under there.
Yeah, no, it's going to be impressive.
You gonna help?
Should I help?
Do you want to?
Do you know the retaining clips missing off your caliper on that side?
So there's a funny story about that. So this has had brake issues and I did actually replace the front calipers. Instead of rebuilding them, I just got fresh ones and threw them on. Yeah. But I forgot to put the retaining clips for the pads in them. But it was a really good job that I didn't. Me and Ethan actually were driving through some proper hardcore rain and our wipers gave up.
I don't want to ask.
No, pop the bonnet, it's good. You'll really like it, honestly, I promise. Really good, actually, it's really good.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I took the retaining clip and I cut it in half because obviously I've got two joints that I need to secure professionally. But it kept on flopping off, so then I just cable tied them on. I don't think that's too bad. I tell you what, it hasn't broken again, so that is a sign that it's a good fix, no?
I mean, I'm actually genuinely impressed by that.
It's good, isn't it?
The best thing about that experience is in this downpour, Jack was having to drive home like Ace Ventura with his head out the side window.
Yeah, no, I was proper pet detective that day. So that's the story of that. I think it's ingenious. I'm glad you approve of it.
Saab approved?
Saab approved.
I'm improving a Saab, can you believe that? That's like the ultimate level of engineering. Right, shall we get in the air and have a...
Let's do it, let's have a look.
Okay, sweet.
So we put it on this level first so we can have a look around some common faults.
I have actually put some Part 1 tyres on this before.
Part 1 tyres, that's generous. Straight away we can see we're missing the retaining clip here again, but we know where that went.
We know where that went.
Coil springs are okay. That tyre is going to need changing fairly soon again. Your brake pads look good there. Discs are okay, look a bit heat coloured, I wonder why that is.
It seems to be this side that the brakes have a tendency of binding. I had actually taken it to a local mechanic. He changed the flexi hose on the front. That hasn't solved it. It solved it a little bit. If I do a long trip,
yeah,
they get pretty toasty, yeah.
Is that like down to the manner of your driving or because it's actually
what I like to do is just accelerate and brake at the same time.
Okay, yeah,
and that,
really clean
they get
them
real
up,
hot then, yeah, they do, yeah.
Get them glowing.
They don't perform as well when they're liquid. Oh.
That's not so good. So this is another fault we see quite a lot with these. We call them banana arms. It's the upper suspension arm. Basically they fail and then it causes the wheel to move like this.
That doesn't look good.
No, so that's really not very good. Most obvious thing it causes is uneven tyre wear, it wears the inside of the tyre away. Also, if you're cornering quickly, the back of the car will sway like this as you're driving as the car moves.
Yeah, I'm mostly like sideways sending it when I'm cornering this, so.
Yeah, I've seen some of your handbrake turn videos.
Yeah. Handbrake turn, okay.
Yeah, this looks a bit tired. That probably won't change fairly soon. The whole surface of the pad isn't in contact with the whole disc. Your paint coming off the wheel.
Solid.
Solid.
Yeah.
That's more like it.
Yeah, that's good, isn't it?
The rear shock absorber mount to the top here are a common fault for this Model 2. They corrode and split, but we're all good. We've got some more rust coming through there.
It's no surprise, it's a car throttle car. It's got to have some rust.
Good.
Good.
Front tyre's getting a bit low again, especially on the inside edge. Smaller burnouts.
When I got Part 1s, I did only do the rears. I wasn't...
Right, okay, got you.
I didn't love it that much.
The air conditioning radiator looks a bit corroded. Does the aircon work in it?
I wouldn't know, the blower motor's gone. I think it did work. I have a memory of being cold in this car, but the blower motor stopped working, so I can't remember.
There we go, I guess we better get right up and see what we're underneath. So looking under here straight away I can see we've got an engine oil leak, which this is probably from the breather system, like I pointed out when we were looking at it from the top. Oil from the steering rack's gone, so this is all soaked up here. This is basically means your steering rack's leaking. Not the easiest job to do on one of these, but it's no biggie. You've got oil on the exhaust here, that's not so good because that's obviously a fire hazard.
This car loves a fire hazard.
Clips coming out here.
Oh, we can solve that.
So we just clip that back on again.
Yeah, I mean, easy.
Very nice and simple. Makes a change.
Sweet.
There we go.
Easy fix.
You see the fuel tank's had a bit of a bashing on something. That's just a protective shield. We've got the fuel filters all cable tied together, that's nice. So with the fuel filters and these basically, when you're changing them, if you over tighten them, they will leak. So you have to get the perfect balance. It's Saab.
Saab. Has to be perfect.
Yeah, the rubber sort of shield around the fuel tank strap's expanded on the diesel, which it doesn't directly cause an issue for it. It just doesn't look particularly pretty. I've got no exhaust box. We see this a lot, obviously, where they break off. If it breaks further back down here, when the car tries to regenerate its DPF, obviously it runs the engine hot. It will then melt the rear bumper and the back light.
Okay, yeah.
So that's not so good.
Is that another fire hazard?
Your springs aren't snapped, which again is sometimes a common feature for these, especially with how I gather you guys drive it.
I'm not too bad at this. It was a cruiser. It was a casual cruiser, this car.
Everything seems okay under here. The only pressing things that I have seen is the exhaust back box and the steering oil leak. Those two should be dealt with pretty quickly. The rest, not too bad.
Sweet, that's good.
Not too bad at all.
That's good news. I was expecting a lot worse.
Yeah, I was expecting it to be in much worse condition, actually. You know, when we first spoke about doing this, I thought, oh, that's going to be a mess.
Could you do us a cost for getting it on the road safely so it's not going to burst into flames or anything like that, and then a cost for getting it mint?
Yeah, we can do you both.
Yeah?
I think mint might be quite a big bill on this one, but we can see what we can do.
Sweet. While Ash got to work totaling up what it would cost to fix our 9.3, Edwin and I walked through the endless rows of Saabs to see what we could find. My God, man. Is this all the Saabs?
Look, there's more in that corner. There's an extra corner. Look.
We're blocked in by Saabs, there's no route through the Saab here.
On the BBSs. Oh, we should nick those.
Oh, look at this guy.
It's being reclaimed.
We don't actually need a door, but it's good to know, isn't it?
think this is the right place for saving your car.
If they can't do it, then we are shit out of luck.
I think this is rare. This is an X93X.
Is that an all-wheel
I
drive?
think all-wheel drive one.
So Ash, you've had a minute to add up the expenses. What are the figures like? They good?
Yeah, they're not as bad as you'd expect actually. So I've made a basic list of all the bits. Some of these are new, some of them are second hand. Whatever we can get new, I've got on here.
So you get those used parts from the cars that you can't save, but all these cars out here in the yard, they're for you to save, right?
Yeah, so basically most of the cars outside the door, they're either customers' cars or they're ones that we're selling. We save pretty much every Saab that we get in. We hate taking them apart. But sometimes, you know, it's not economical. And even sometimes when it is uneconomical, we fix it anyway. Someone's got to repair them. We're the only one out here doing it. Most of the other Saab dealers make a business out of taking them apart. That's not what we're here for. Starting with the fuel tank strap. We've got those for £37. We've got using a replacement second-hand fuel tank for £75. 2 new front tyres, sort of good branded ones that we always use, for £150. Replacing the steering rack, approximate cost on that £250. Heat shields are loose, the breather oil leak, etc. That's more of a labour job, so that's included further down. Replacing these exhaust back boxes is £130. The new bearings for the 2 top mounts, including the top mount itself, at £89. The wiper mechanism is £50.
But we can leave that because it's a pretty good fix.
Your brake caliper clips, they're about 90 pence each, so no biggie there. Refurbishing the driver's seat, so that's taking the seat out, putting new leather in it, repairing it properly, would be £350. Replacement steering wheel, second hand, would be £30 for one that's not been eaten.
That seems pretty good.
Yeah, so a lot of the bits are actually a lot more affordable than you think for these cars. Yeah. The under tray underneath the engine, we're looking at a new one for £75 there. Rear wheel arch liner, we stock them new for £40. Freshly refurbishing the alloy wheels we do for £300. Then we've got the full service, that's £220, and that would include repairing the fuel filter. And as part of the service, we scan them with the Saab Tech 2 diagnostics, which is the Saab equipment for them just to pick up any electrical fault codes if they're stored anywhere.
Okay, there's going to be some in there, I reckon.
Yeah, there'll probably be a couple in there. We're replacing the headlights with good used ones, £50 each, so 100 in total for that. We've got the replacement heater fan at £60, and that includes the speed controller for it as well. The climate control box where the buttons are all scratched off, £75 for a good used one of those. Proper bonnet badges and the boot badges, they are £43 for new proper Saab ones.
Well, we can just go on eBay and get another set of these, right?
For like a £5 maybe,
Okay.
but they'll look like that in a few weeks' time. Brand new hubcaps at £20. The heater vent, you know, the middle one that's broken, at £41. And then the labour charge for various things on there is about £150. The big one. A really big one. So the bodywork, including replacing the, you know, the lower section of the back wings, comes in at £1,700. But that's including going right round the car, so all the damage you've got sort of on the front bumper, the wings down there, on the sides, the back bumper, basically that includes going around the whole thing. That would be doing all the bodywork. And looking like a new car after that.
A fresh car.
So the total for you know everything we've just spoke about there, £4,025 plus the VAT brings it to £4,830. And that's to make it look perfect. And if we were just to get it, you know, on the road so it was healthy, we'd be looking at £1,024 plus the VAT, which is £1,228.
Okay, not too bad. So considering we bought it for £500 and that cost included, it's about £1,750 for a car that I've driven for 2 years, and then potentially after that would go for a lot longer, right?
One of our courtesy cars that we give people has done 290,000 miles and it's still going strong. People comment actually how much of a good car it is, and it doesn't look like it's on the mileage, it doesn't drive like it, but you know, it's been looked after in the past and we look after it now, so that will last forever as far as we're concerned.
I think it deserves to live on. I think it deserves to have the work done, and then after that, maybe we should take it on a little trip. Maybe take it home, maybe go see some Northern Lights, maybe do more skids.
Find a nice lake.
Yeah, find a nice lake. So maybe let us know in the comments down below if you want to see that. Maybe some recommendations of where we should go with it, what we should do with it. And also, if you are a fellow man of intellect and culture and you have a Saab and you want it repaired and fixed, or even if you want to buy a Saab, come and visit Hagstrom Saab. Pay these guys a visit, I'm sure they'll put you right. So Ash, any final comments on the car before we wrap up? Impressive,
Well,
right? You like it, it's good.
Yeah, so it's doing a lot better than I thought it was, and it's good to see Saab getting you know, shout out on social media. They don't really get enough attention. I think people are starting to realise how much car you get for the money.
Thanks for watching the video, hope you've enjoyed it. Hopefully we've swung some people round to Saab. If you want to subscribe to the channel, you can click here. If you want to watch more videos, click down here. Cheers for having us, Ash.
No problem at all.
Last one.
Been a pleasure.